This is a good-looking crowd.
Excuse me, I'm going to get my Diet Coke out of here. I know it's not good for you. I know. It's fine.
How are you doing?
I'm
Having a good show?
I'm a little tired today.
I bet, yeah.
I'm a little tired today. Whenever I... Oh, that's the sound of Jesus. Sorry. Whenever I'm away from my kids, I always drink too much on the first night.
Yeah.
Because I'm so excited.
Yeah, you don't have to get home.
With them,
yeah.
So I always sleep like crap, and then I go home, and my husband's like, "Why are you so tired? You're supposed to use this time to like sleep in and like come back rejuvenated."
Yeah, no, I totally get it. And you have another busy night tonight. Let's talk about the podcast a little bit. You're coming up on 2 years of shows. You've got almost 70 episodes, I think, close to it. Pretty much everywhere I look, it's 5 stars across the board. So tell us what you're doing tonight with the show. Big night.
You guys, I truly believe that nervousness is a sign of doing something good and something that you're gonna enjoy. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. I mean, you do this for a living. I just pretend. And so we're doing the podcast live. We're live recording anyway, and Rainn Wilson is our guest.
Now,
I'm super excited.
Have you guys ever met?
We met 30 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
I'm really excited, though. I find that sometimes when I don't know somebody, the interview is almost easier.
Yeah.
Because I go into it knowing nothing.
Kind of fresh, yeah.
Yeah. And the podcast sort of came from... Take yourselves back 5 years to COVID, if you will. Something that came out of COVID for me that I think was really important was I had weekly conversations with people that were scheduled. My best friends, we started talking again, and we hadn't talked, there are moments where Tricia Helfer, will be going through something in her life, and I legitimately think I was there because I saw it on social media. And I'm like, oh, I wasn't there. That's right. So I missed connecting with my friends again, and so I was like, I feel like I want to talk to people again, and the podcast just sort of came out of it.
I know you had Ron Moore on recently, executive producer of Battlestar Galactica, and of course he helped or tried to get at probably the question I think you probably get the most about Starbuck's fate and the ending of that series. Tell us a little bit about what he said, and were you satisfied with that answer?
So he basically said what I kind of expected. In my mind, I always thought they wrote themselves into a corner. Mm-hmm. That's the sort of judgmental actor way of saying what he said. But what he said was they always sort of questioned what she was, and they tried a lot of different versions of what she could have been on, mm-hmm. and none of them quite felt satisfying enough. None of them were like, oh, that's what she is. Yeah. And he said, and he realized that they just wanted to leave it and just let her be who she was going to be for every single person who watched it. And that's what I loved so much about the ending, is that she really was something different for so many people. And I loved that she's ambiguous.
Yeah, kind of. If your interpretation, whatever your interpretation is, it's not wrong.
100%. Somebody, you might be here. Somebody today said that she was the subconscious, or maybe the embodiment of the Galactica, gotcha. Which I had also never heard that before. I was like, wow, that's interesting.
Very cool.
Yeah. Want
to take some questions? We got a long line going here.
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's do some questions. Come on up. Hi there.
Hi. I was wondering if you have any favorite memories or funny behind-the-scenes moments from filming Battlestar Galactica.
Oh my gosh, so many. I mean, we're such a family, and we really bonded very quickly on that show. There's so many really crazy stories, but we also shot on film, and so you didn't waste film, because that was money. you know? And so everyone was like, are you gonna do a practical joke today or whatever? Aaron Douglas constantly tried to get me to like do practical jokes. And I was like, I am not gonna be the person that costs thousands of dollars to film. I'm not gonna do that. And so I never did it, but he did quite a bit. Of course, it makes complete sense. But I think that God, there's just so many memories, so many funny stories, so many weird things that happen on that show. Are there children in here? Yeah, there's children in here.
I'm 5.
There's just, I'll give the PG version of this. In the scene where Starbuck is with, babe, you guys, I haven't seen the show, so give me a second, I'm so sorry. So in Battlestar Galactica, I hear it's a great show, I should watch it. There's a scene where she's with Baltar, but she's imagining Lee, right? So we shot those scenes with both of those guys where I would stay in the same position, if you will, use your imagination, and they would say, okay, James, climb off. Jamie, come in. Okay, now Jamie, pause. Katie, don't move. Jamie, jump off. James, back in.
Not awkward at all.
Trisha, stop laughing. She can't see you. Okay, and actually, it was so weird. It was so weird, and in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, what is this life? So, PG version.
Cool. One more. Got it. Next up, come on up.
Okay, because there's kids, I'll ask this question kind of judiciously because I want to ask about your robot chicken character. Like,
Which one?
like how fun is it? Fun to work that blue? And did you do any improvisation, or was all that in the script?
A lot of it is improv, but it's not improv from my brain. It is improv from Seth's brain, literally from the recording booth, screaming, "Say this!" And then I say it, and I'm like, "I can't say that." And he's like, "Do it." And it is so inappropriate. So inappropriate. My mom at one point, I showed her, and she was like, I'm sorry, what? I'm not going to repeat what I said.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So obviously you voiced Lady Bo-Katan first in the Clone Wars and then brought her to live action in The Mandalorian. Was there any difficulty in making that translation from animation to live action? And then
So I think the biggest one is that when you're in the recording booth, you can just do whatever the heck you want, you know? I mean, as you guys might know at this point, I don't stop moving. Like, my body moves, my face moves, my hands move. I'm like so animated. And especially, God, I bite my lips all the time. I move. Like, I never realized how fidgety I am until I watched the podcast back. And I'm like, girl, sit still. And so in the booth, I can do all of that stuff. It doesn't matter, you know? And so when I showed up as Bo and I finally had the suit on, I had, in my mind, thought, I don't need to work on this. Like, I know her inside and out. It never occurred to me that I never questioned how she moved. I'd never walked like her. It just like, oh my God, I can't move my face. Like, she doesn't move. And that was the biggest challenge for me, was trying to nail down a version of her that didn't look animated, that still had physicality and human movement to it because she was animated. But at the same time was still Bo, which is very purposeful in movements. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, being a news guy, I'm going to jump in here because we're talking Bo-Katan, and they are in the process of making a Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Have we put on the armor lately for any reason, by chance?
I have
It's
not
just you and me.
been in the armor in 2025.
Fair enough. We will leave it at that. All right, go ahead, sir.
Well, the last guy kind of took my original question. So my new one is, what was probably one of your favorite stories when you were recording for Bo-Katan?
For animated?
Yes.
So what's so interesting about the animation was that, and I'm so envious of Ashley and Matt and James, is that they were all in the room together a lot of the times, whereas I was like on an island by myself up in Canada filming Battlestar Galactica, and you know, they would have Dave over Skype telling me what to do, basically. So I felt very removed from the story. And so I don't really have like a ton of stories from that. The story, I mean, one of the main things is that behind the scenes is that I grew up loving science fiction. My dad raised me on sci-fi. Like, I remember watching Star Wars when I was little and like seeing these characters and just being like, oh my God, like transported to another place. So to be in animation was like the cherry on top. I was like, this is as good as it gets. Like, this is amazing. I'm in Star Wars. And my team tried to convince me to not do it anymore because they don't pay very well. And like, you go in. I mean, it's you know, it just is what it is. Like, everyone thinks you get Star Wars and you're like, wow, my private jet's out back. And a lot of times I would have to fly myself in, or I would have to, you know, do certain things. So I was like losing money doing voiceover work for Star Wars. Mm-hmm. But I didn't care. I was like, I'm in Star Wars. And so I kept saying to them, this is long game stuff. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm in Star Wars. Like, this is crazy. I'm gonna do this. If Dave calls me, I will jump for the rest of my life. Yeah, I have a whole new team now, by the way.
Very good.
So
Good.
I was like, you don't get it.
I'll ask you some real life stuff. How do you like living in Portland? I see you have a chicken coop, so you're clearly not paying $9 a dozen for eggs.
Oh, don't let the internet fool you, you guys. It is more expensive to have a chicken coop than it is to just buy eggs. Just keep buying eggs. It's so expensive. If you like animals and you want to challenge and you think it'll be fun, and chickens are crazy, like they're super fun. Like, if you're looking for entertainment, like, just get chickens. Mm-hmm. Like, it should be crazy up in that hen house. Chickens are crazy. I love Portland. I love Portland. I don't know if any of you have like grown up someplace, left home, and like the last thing you ever thought you would do in life is move back. That was me. Like, I hate rain.
Yeah.
But my husband, like, is like a delicate flower when it comes to heat. And so he was like, I don't think I can stay in California. It is so hot here. And he's like a good old Canadian boy. And so I was like, oh my God, I guess we're moving. So we moved to Portland, and it took about, I think, just now. Mm-hmm. And I remember doing things in the rain when I was a kid. Like, I don't remember it being like raining all the time when I was a kid, because you just do things in the rain. Like, we don't use umbrellas.
You know.
Like, you just go. And I forgot that. And it took me just this long to like start just existing in rain. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, I have to go. It was a Diet Coke, I apologize, excuse me. And so I'm just now getting to a point where I'm like really, really comfortable on rainy days. I don't sit there and go, well, we're gonna have to figure out what to do inside. Yeah. Now I'm like, let's go to the zoo.
There you
No
go.
one will be there. It'll be really fun.
December 24th, 2021, and I think, checking my numbers, May 24th of last year, your life changed.
For the second time?
For the second time.
Yeah.
Tell me what it's like. Tell me what being a parent has sort of done to your life and sort of outlook on career.
Yeah. You know, I always wanted to be a mom. From the moment I was a little kid, I I knew I was going to be a mom. The irony of all ironies is that I never envisioned myself pregnant. Which is actually weird, and it's foreshadowing, which is crazy. And so when I went to the doctor and we started talking about having babies, and she was like, I don't think you can carry your own children. Like, I just don't think it's in the cards for you. I had cancer 15 years ago, almost 20 years ago. And just that, and then a couple other health things. She was like, I just don't think it's in the cards for you. And I kept having miscarriages, and like very early sorry guys, this is getting real really quick. And so it just wasn't in the cards for us. But I did 1 million egg retrievals, and we went down the route of surrogacy for us, and it worked for us. Adoption wasn't off the table, but we were going to go this route first and sort of see, because adoption is also very difficult in this country. And so we have these 2 beautiful children that are just, I don't even know. My mom used to always egotistically say to me, you will never know how much I love you until you have children.
Yeah.
And I was always like, whatever. Like, leave me alone, I'm going out. You know what I mean? Like, your mom always says it to you when you're being difficult. Like, not when they want to love you, but like when you're being a complete a-hole, they're like, you will never know how much I love you. And it's true. The moment my children were born, it just like something clicked in me, and I was like, oh my God. Like, my life is not my own anymore,
Real quickly, you've been pretty open about your daughter's health struggles. She was diagnosed at 8 months with a rare pediatric cancer. Mm-hmm. How is she doing? How are you doing dealing with that?
She's good. She's cancer-free. So, good. We're not out of the woods, but we are in a clearing, which is really beautiful. You see other people go through things sometimes, and I look at people who have a family member that is struggling with health, or a child that's struggling with health, and you look at these people, and you feel so removed from it. Of course, you can have empathy, and you can give your love and your support to those people, but you don't quite really know what it's like until you're there. And having a child that is sick is, I can't even quantify it with words. It is one of the cruelest things that could happen, is to see children suffer. And then to not be able to help is just insanity. It's just one of the hardest things as a parent, to do that. And you realize that the only thing you can do is give them all the love that you possibly can, and try to make their days joyful and filled with love. And I have learned so much about strength by watching my daughter go through treatment. Like, I will never be as strong as she is. She is so strong. God, she's so strong. And it's just amazing. And she's such a warrior, and she is such a beautiful soul. Like, she really is. She's so wonderful.
Well, I think the room joins me in sending healing vibes and prayers.
Thank
and
you.
Hope you guys get.
Thank you. Yeah.
Let's get back to some questions. Go ahead.
Out of all the seasons in Mandalorian, which one is your favorite?
Oh my God. So I love season 3, but episode 2 of season 2, when Bo shows up and sort of lands on that ship, I just something in me being so connected to her as a character in animation, like when I landed and then looked up, I was like, yeah, girl, get it! That was awesome! What a cool entrance. I was like, oh my God, she's such a badass. So I would have to say, just like that moment, I loved getting to know more about her in season 3. I thought that was really cool. And I think we needed to know that in order to move forward. You know, I think as a story about the Mandalorian, I think in order to tell his story, we needed to understand her story and the story of the Mandalorians as well. And so I think we accomplished that, you know.
Very cool. Next up.
Hello there.
Hi.
Oh, okay.
You have a very good hello there.
So I don't really know what you mean by not being able to sit still. Got Tourette's and ADHD, so completely agree with you on that. Quick two question. Number one, you were on The Flash as Aminette Black, who you were a complete badass as. What was your favorite part of filming? And number two, if you could be anyone in the Star Wars universe, from the Old Republic to the New Republic, who would you be and why, other than Bo-Katan?
Yeah, okay. So Aminette was insane, like legitimately insane. And I love the part that they let me lean into the craziness of her. And when they asked me what I wanted to do, and I said, I want to make her British, they were like, I'm sorry,
Yes.
what? And I was like, well, I can't find anything about her in like the books anywhere. Like, so she really doesn't, there's not much about her. I can just make up whatever I want. And they said, but why British? And I was like, well,
Because all bad guys have a cool British accent.
that's why. And I thought, I feel like she's from Clearwater, Florida.
Yeah.
And I feel like she got hit by the gamma ray. And she was like, she has some issues, let's be honest. She's got some issues, as all good villains do. But I feel like in that moment, she went, I'm going to take revenge on everyone. And I need a British accent.
Yep.
Because she's also nuts. And that's what I love her so much. And they were like, well, like what British accent? And I was like, all of them. All of them. I want it to be insane. So I had so much fun doing that show. And I think the first day that I showed up and I did the accent, I think everyone was like, what is she doing?
Very nice.
And then because I'm a sucker for Harrison Ford, I'd probably want to be Han Solo.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, just a reminder, keep your questions short and fast, and we'll get as many people in as we can. Go ahead.
Hi, I have a question on the Clone Wars. So, of all the arcs Bo-Katan isn't in, what would you add her to and why?
Like retroactively.
I think I would add her into more scenes with Satine. And in her storyline before. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of their relationship before Bo makes that fateful decision that leads to her sister's death.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Next up, go ahead.
Hi, Katee. I just want to say I absolutely loved you as Bo-Katan Kryze in The Mandalorian, so I want to thank you for that. My question is, who is the first person to really truly believe in your potential, and what has been the biggest lesson in your journey so far?
Crazy. I would say my mom and dad. My parents are amazing. They're insane, but they're amazing. My parents they never raised me to think that I couldn't do anything. They never said, oh, I don't know about that. Ever. When I said I wanted to be an actor, they were like, okay, what's your plan? You know, because you're going to need one.
Yeah, I guess you're
But
right.
they were so supportive. But inside the industry, my first job was with, do you guys remember the Free Willy movies? Yeah. So Sam Pillsbury directed Free Willy 1. And he was coming to town to do a Lifetime movie when I was 16 years old with Kirsten Dunst. And they needed a body double for her because she had to go to school half days. So they needed someone that looked enough like her, that they could shoot over the shoulder, all that good stuff. That's how that works. If you've got a kid, a lot of times if there's a back shot of them, it's not them. I was too big. I was like too tall and too big. But they were like, there is a part that you could audition for if you want to. And I was like, okay, great. So I went home and my mom helped me memorize this entire dialogue. And
Nice.
I went back the next day and I booked it. And that got me Taft-Hartley'd into the union, which basically was like a godsend. And Sam Pillsbury, that director, convinced my mother I had 2 scenes in this movie. He convinced my mother that there was something about me and she needed to bring me to California.
Wow.
So he convinced my mom to fly to California with me. He introduced me to my manager and my agency.
Oh.
They signed me immediately.
Nice.
And he showed me around, told her where they should put me up. I was a 17-year-old kid, so they helped me. He and his wife helped me find the area I should live in. And then we flew back home. I graduated, and then I moved to California.
Oh, nice.
So Sam Pillsbury literally changed my life.
Wow.
Huh.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you, Katie.
Yeah.
Rest is history. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Hi. So another actor was talking once when their character was being adapted, and they said something that was important to them was to learn something new about the character in the new adaptation. So did you feel that way too when Bo-Katan went from animation to live action? And if so, what's something important you learned about her?
Well, I mean, I think we learned so much about Bo, and especially in season 3. One of the things that was important to me, and one of the things that I knew we were going to learn, was the guilt that she had. Because the only way to justify where she came from was for her to feel remorse. And so I wanted that to come through. And it did, I think, in my opinion. So that was really important to me, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Go ahead.
In Battlestar Galactica, did you not like anyone? Like on the set?
Did you hate everybody?
So sweet. No, I loved everyone. Isn't that crazy? Everyone from that show, they're still a part of my life. They're still like family. Trisha's one of my best friends. We talk all the time. Eddie is like a father to me. Mary's like a mother. I mean, like, we're literally family.
Do you guys have a Battlestar Galactica group text?
We don't, so the boys have one. And I removed myself from it. Because I was like, no one needs this.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, but we're super, super, super close. And of course, like family, you fight. You know, we've had moments. But, you know, we love each other.
Thank you.
Yes, I love your pod show on Tuesdays. And my question is, of all the characters you've ever been, like Vic and outside the John does, which one's your favorite? And if you were able to live one of them out, which would you like?
Well, I would probably pick Vic, because I think she's the only one who's going to have a long life. And I love them all. You know, I've been so lucky to play so many strong, really fierce women.
I enjoyed that.
And I can't pick just one. It's super hard. I feel like there's more story in Vic still, too. Like, I would love to go back and do more Longmire. I don't think we'll ever be able to. We're trying, but so yeah, Vic.
And Vic, you reflect in your life. You see Vic. I mean, other character. Any the characters come out in your real life, or you see?
No, not really. Other than, you know, I think Vic is the closest to myself, and so a lot of days I went to work, and what I was going through in my life made its way into her attitude that day. You know, and vice versa. She's pretty feisty. But no, nothing. It's. I've always been really good at separating the two.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I'll see you tonight.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Hi, I watched both the original Battlestar when it aired back in the 70s and yours. I like your character, Starbuck, because it's more stronger personality. There's a rumor that a certain person had a hissy fit because a woman played Starbuck. What did you say to him?
Oh, I've never had the pleasure.
Okay. Okay, if you did have the pleasure, what would you have said to him?
Well, I don't think I need to say anything now.
There you go. Very nice. Thank you. Hi.
So my question's kind of playing off of his question. That wasn't planned. But so I'm similar age. I watched the original Battlestar Galactica as a kid, and of course there was a male Starbuck character. The moment for me when I was watching the new Battlestar Galactica that I knew that you were taking this character to a whole different level was when your character stood up and punched Saltai in the face. Can you tell me when maybe you realized that this was working and that this was a better version?
I'm not going to say it's a better version, because I'm kind.
A different interpretation.
So, I never studied as an actor. When I was a little kid, I would memorize scenes from movies, and I would go stand in front of the mirror, and I would go see if I could make my face do what their face did. I taught myself how to cry on cue. I taught myself how to pretend to act. And nobody was the wiser. And I always said to my mom, I feel like I'm a little bit, I feel like I don't belong here. And she was like, just fake it. Keep faking it until you make it, kid. If they don't know, it's fine. Like, I was like, I don't know how to act. I don't know what Stella Adler is. I don't know who any of this stuff is. And so I was on Battlestar Galactica, and I talk about this in the podcast with Eddie, actually. And I was goofing off, as I always do. I mean, I was like a 22-year-old kid with a lot of freedom. And I was just like being a kid, and he pulled me aside. And it was the scene with Zach when Starbuck tells Adama that she was responsible for Zach's death.
Yeah.
And he pulls me aside, and he looks me dead in the eye, which when Eddie does that, oh my God. It's like terrifying. And he said, if you would try, you would be really good. And I was like, excuse me, what?
Yeah.
And in my mind, I was like, shit, somebody figured it out. And he goes, listen. Listen to me when I talk to you. You're not listening. You're just doing your lines and pretending. It's like, listen to what I'm saying to you. And stop effing off between sets or takes. And I was like, okay. And thank God I had the ability to be humbled in that moment and actually listen to him, because I was 22. And on the next take, I listened. And I was so moved by her. And I was so in her. I was her. That when I walk out of that room and I cover my head on the way out, I'm literally sobbing. I couldn't contain it. I finally felt what it was like to feel somebody else in your own body. Like I was acting. And it changed my life. So that was that moment where I was like, oh, I could do this. I could do this. Yeah. No one had ever told me to listen before.
Yeah. Great lesson. That's huge.
Super good advice.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks for the question. We got a little over 10 minutes, so again, if you can go quickly, we'll try
it's
and
my fault.
get
I'm
to
the
as
one that
many people as
talks too
possible.
much.
I didn't say that.
All right. So Vic is literally like the cop that I want to be when I grow up and get into law enforcement. What was your favorite thing about playing her character?
She was so feisty. She was so feisty. And she was so feisty in a way, Starbuck and Bo are feisty, but it's different. There's a weight to their feistiness. There's just more weight to them. I think the world that they live in is very different than the world that Vic lives in, obviously. And so when she's feisty, she's just like, she is like a bee up in her bonnet. And like, I just love that about her. I love that she's not scared of anyone. She's not scared to say anything. She's like, you don't like me, so what? And she just goes at people. And I love that. I love that about her. Probably don't do that when you're in law enforcement. You might get fired.
So far I haven't, so.
Yeah. And you might want to wear some more buttons.
Yeah.
Because I think that's probably not acceptable either. Yeah, but I love that character so much.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks. Go ahead.
If the producers on Dexter had wanted you a sci-fi icon for Denise Crosby's character in the original series, would you have done that?
I've never seen the show. I've never seen the show. Is it good? I know it's good. I mean, people love it and they remade it, so I know it's good. But now I'm feeling like I need to watch it. And I'm also friends with Denise. How do I not know that? I'll watch it, and then I'll let you know.
Well, kind of related. I'm going to throw one in here real quick. Catchphrases. So say we all. This is the way. What's it going to take to get live long and prosper in there for you?
Ooh.
Probably run more. Yay! And probably run more to write some Star Trek.
Fair enough. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. We'd like to see that, right?
I would like to see that.
All right, go ahead.
So you said that you grew up on sci-fi. So did you realize when you were auditioning to be Starbuck that had been a male character?
No.
So how did that feel when you did realize that?
So I booked the job. I had no idea. And I called my dad to tell him. Wow. And he went, "What?" And I told him, and he went, "Congratulations. I'm super proud of you. Like, come on. Like, your daughter just booked like the lead of a show." Like, he was so excited. But he was like, "You need to go watch it." So I went on down to my Blockbuster Video, and I rented it. And I was sitting with my best girlfriend, and we were drinking some wine. And I put it in, and we're drinking, but we're talking, because we're whatever. And all of a sudden they're talking about Starbuck, but I didn't see her, so I was like, this is
when's
so
she
weird.
coming on? Yeah.
So we rewind it. And then we play it. Oh. Oh, shit. And so I stopped it. And I returned it.
Oh.
And I never watched it again.
Really? That was it?
That was it. As soon as I realized that it was a man. Because I knew that any comparison whatsoever that I tried to make or that I tried to emulate would be wrong. Because they were not the same person. As soon as you take a male character and you make it female, it is a completely different character, different set of circumstances, different life experiences, different person. So I just never watched it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Hey there.
So I wanted to ask, because you play Bo-Katan in Star Wars in both the animation and live action, what's your favorite part about playing her?
I'm in Star Wars.
I'm thinking we should have that put on a T-shirt.
Yeah, I just pinched myself. I pinched myself.
Longmire's one of my favorite shows of all time. When I see the stars on social media when they reunite or something, Adam or Rob, that meet up now, even it seems like it was a closed cast. What stands out to you most about your experience on the show, your favorite memories, that type of thing?
I think shooting in Santa Fe was really special. We all became really close very quickly as well. A lot of life experiences together. We went through some losses. You know, people lost parents. Rob had a baby. Like big life stuff. And it was just a really special show. And when you're on location where not one person lives there, like when we shot in Vancouver, so many of the people were from Vancouver for Battlestar. But when you shoot in a location where nobody is from a place, it really draws you together because nobody has a corner to go back to, you know? And so that stands out to me. Like Adam is literally like a brother. He's doing conventions with me this year.
Yeah.
I'm so excited, and so is
Nice.
Rob. I'm so excited because Adam has become like my travel husband. Because my husband is like, I'll stay home with the kids. You do the conventions on the weekend, because we used to be a traveling circus, and traveling with 2 children is like, it's not fun. And inevitably, I'm working anyway, so he's like, I have the kid. It would just be easier to keep the kids at home, and you just go. And I was like, great, but I don't want to go by myself. So Adam. Adam's now my husband. We're going to Australia. It's going to be crazy. So I'm really excited. He's a good person. He just, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Come on up.
Hi. Do you have a favorite scene with Starbuck? Like just one that sticks out to you that you had a lot of fun making?
Oh my God, the whole unfinished business boxing episode was so fun because we got to figure out how we wanted to fight. And the fight choreographer was like, how do you want Starbuck to fight? And I was like, well, you know, she's like a boxer. She's like a close quarters, like grappler type of a person. But I was like, if she's gonna beat these men, she has to cheat. Because at the end of the day, and this is one of the things that I've always said for my female characters, if they're not superhuman and a man steps up to them with the same training, they're gonna win. They're bigger, they're stronger. It's just gonna happen. So I was like, if she's gonna win in this fight against Lee, she needs to cheat. And so she kicks him in the face, which I loved.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, we just got a couple minutes left. Go ahead.
Who was your favorite person to interview on the podcast?
Ooh, because these are all friends. I mean, these are.
They are, a lot of them are.
Yeah,
So Ron Moore was probably my favorite, but
that was a great show.
do you guys know Terry Metalis?
Yes.
Yeah, he's coming on. His interview's done. It comes out in like 3 weeks. He's wonderful. And that's a good one. Sonequa Martin Green is coming out soon. That's an awesome interview. Super excited. I think interviewing Trisha Helfer was something really special to me, because when someone is one of your best friends, you feel like you know everything. But there are certain things you just don't know. Like I never asked her. And so that was really special to be able to, and I made her cry. Did you watch that episode? Trisha doesn't cry. She's not a crier, you guys. She's like a Cylon. And I got her to cry. I was so happy. I was like, look out, Barbara Walters.
So what is next for you? Where should we look for you next? I saw a clip the other day. Josh Hartnett was not happy with your character at all.
He's not. That movie was so much fun. It's called Fight or Flight. It comes out in May. I played Josh Hartnett's handler, who is also his ex.
Oh, that's not complicated
Who
at all.
really fracked him over.
Okay.
And now needs a favor. So, action. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. We had a lot of fun together. We shot in Budapest like 2 years ago.
Very
It
cool.
was really cool. And there's other stuff coming, but I can't talk about it. It's not all Star Wars, guys. There's stuff. There's other stuff. I wish, but no. There's some really fun stuff, and I'm just really excited.
Very cool. I will wrap up by just asking you a question you asked Mike Flanagan on your podcast, which is, do you just wake up every day and just kind of pinch yourself at this long and productive career and life that you've had?
Yeah. You know, I always thought that I could do this. I always thought that I could be an actor. But there's so many moving parts to this industry that I never actually knew if it would work. And yeah, I mean, I've learned one valuable lesson in life that, I mean, I've learned a lot, but I've learned something really important. Just because I am happy, just because I have a wonderful husband and 2 beautiful, healthy children, doesn't mean I can't want more. That's okay. It's okay to be driven and motivated and want to live life to its fullest, because we get one chance at this, you know. Yeah, I just like, there's so much I want to see and so much I want to feel. I'm just so excited.
Well said. Well, good luck tonight. Thank you.
you.
Thank you for all that you do, and thanks for coming out.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Please give a huge round of applause, everybody.